I love men. My
No.
God, it's like, that's been, since I'm 15 years old, that's been my undoing. And I always want to have a man in my life. The difference is I know that I don't need one.
I love that. What's up, rich people? It's me, Haley, aka Mrs. Dow Jones, and this is Financial Tea. Okay, you guys, you are going to be gagged because none other than Olivia Attwood is here at Financial Tea. You may know her from Love Island or maybe from the multiple doc series she hosts like The Price of Perfection and Filthy Rich, or maybe from your second screen from her unboxings on TikTok, or from her hit podcast Olivia's House or her radio show on Sirius. I mean, the girl is everywhere. She's nowhere. She's here. She's elusive. She's Olivia. She said I could come on her podcast, Olivia's House. So I am obviously looking into rewards flights as we speak, going across the pond, going to do a crossover episode. There is a moment in the episode, I'm going to warn you, where I do try a little, like maybe half of an accent, and then I quickly switch back. So just want to flag that here because it is a safe space. But, when in Rome, let's welcome Olivia Attwood to the show. But first, let's get into the MDJ Market Report. What's up, sippers? Welcome back to the Market Report, where I give you the top 3 stories happening on Wall Street and what they mean for your wallet. Okay, so the first story, obviously, we are all obsessed with looks maxing and clavicular, but I am soft launching a new trend called expense maxing because this war in Iran, it's not going anywhere. I'm recording this on Monday. Trump was tweeting or was on Truth Social yesterday, like threatening Iran. Like I'm very confused about how this ends and what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, which obviously we need opened because that's going to drive down gas prices. And when gas is expensive, everything is more expensive because everything revolves around oil. And so I was trying to think about like, okay, how are we going to deal with this? Like we're all just, trying to get by and enjoy our lives a little. And so I do think that I have a solution. It is called expense maxing. And similar to looks maxing, you have to go all in. And it's basically when you focus really hard on bringing down your fixed expenses and you max them out. So like your car insurance, your phone bill, your utilities. I want you guys this week to get on the horn and try to get a lower rate on these things that you are just paying willy-nilly every month without thinking about. Because I swear there is so much room for negotiation with these companies because they live with the fear of God in them that you are going to switch, which is their worst nightmare because it costs so much money to acquire a new customer. So they will pretty much agree to your terms if you agree to stay. Especially if you have a car, make sure that you negotiate and compare your car insurance rates. I did this for a few friends this weekend, and I swear each of them saved like $500 to $1,000, which I was looking at the data is average. Yeah, we're going to expense max because look, I can't control the war. I'm sorry. I wish I could. And I can't control the price of gas, but we can control, calling our representatives and also making sure that we're not overpaying for things that maybe we could be paying less for. So yeah, expense max, baby. That's the new vibe. Oh, and also if you pre-order the book, I have all of the scripts that I use to negotiate those fixed expenses. And I have my car insurance comparison tool that I use to get my friends $500 to $1,000 off as a freebie. So go to mrsdowjones.com/book. And right now you can get those. And you're literally going to make back the cost of the book, but also like you're going to make so much money back just in your budget every week. The next story is about Allbirds, which like honestly, I was never the loser who wore them. So I feel really good about it. But this was the unofficial shoe of like men who own Patagonia vests and have crypto losses. And the stock is down 95%, you guys, from its 2021 IPO. Like that means that if you invested at the top of Allbirds, like your portfolio is now basically like spiritually minimalist. But what I think is the most interesting about this story is that when Allbirds went public, it didn't just sell sneakers, it also sold a structure. The way that they structured the deal was that it was dual class. So that basically means that the founders of Allbirds got super voting shares and the shareholders basically just got vibes. So like even though public investors put up the money for the company, the founders still had outsized control over Allbirds. And now that things have gone on not great. Investors are asking, like, would this have actually happened if someone could have just told them no? Because this is not just how Allbirds has structured their company. Companies like Warby Parker, Sweetgreen, Duolingo, and Snap also have founders who have extra voting power. And for each of these companies, that has wiped out billions in shareholder value. In 2021, when it went public, everyone was optimistic and investors were like, take my money, I trust you, King. But now people are realizing that governance matters. And I think that's really important when you are investing to not know just what you're investing in, but like who has control of it once you're in. Because a lot of times you're not just buying stock, you're buying a seat at the table. Like I always get emails from the companies that I've invested in about like voting. Like, oh, here's this thing that we're voting on. Here's that thing that we're voting on. And it's great, but you don't want to be invested in a company where the founders have locked the door. And I think it's crazy because the trend is totally back. Companies like Klarna and Figma are trying to use this same structure too. And in a bull market, I feel like investors just forget, but then in a downturn, they remember really fast. So yeah, the lesson here is if shoes are ugly, like don't wear them. Like those were never cool. But also if you don't understand who has power in your investment, you don't understand your investment. Our final story is about Alex Earle and her new skincare line, Real Actives. I mean, she absolutely crushed. They did $1 million in sales in under 5 minutes. And the products are super accessible. They're priced between $28 and $39. And it's backed by Imaginary Ventures, which is the same firm that did Glossier and Skims and Westman Atelier. Oh, and the CEO came from Kiehl's and The Body Shop. So like, this is not a side hustle. This is a very serious business. And the formulas look good. But I think what's interesting though about the longevity of it is that the marketing doesn't really match the medicine. Like if you follow Alex, you know that she's done Accutane 3 times and that she is currently on spirulactone, which is another prescription acne medication. And like, I never had really bad acne, but like I have a lot of friends who did, and that is what cleared their skin. It was never like a topical lotion. So I just feel like the brand messaging of Real Actives is that the products did that, but like it's a medical condition and it doesn't seem like it cleared her acne. It seemed like medicine cleared her acne. So consumers are smart and it feels like there's a little bit of like lack of transparency and like the narrative doesn't 100% work. Like I think it would be a lot cooler if on the website it like told you that you should use this with taking a prescription medication and using sunscreen, you know, versus just saying like, okay, here's the holy grail product that saved the day and like changed my life. But the other contradiction that I'm noticing is that the campaign is sort of all about like making acne hot. Like the visuals are all of Alex with like her clear skin, their after shots. She looks perfect. So it's like, is the brand about normalizing acne or is it about this idea of fixing it? And as consumers with influencer brands especially, it's really hard to discern because so much of marketing is selling you a feeling versus a product. And so we all want to feel like Alex Earle. So that's why it's so successful. But in order to get people to actually buy it again, you have to have good formulas and it has to actually work. Look, and creator brands are obviously incredibly powerful. Like this was an amazing launch, but harder to sustain if the marketing story doesn't hold up and if the actual products sort of suck. So I feel like she has infinite attention. She's obviously a marketing genius, but I'm also wondering, like, can she build clinical credibility to match it? Because if she does, it's a huge opportunity. This could really be the next Proactive, but if not, then it will just be like a creator brand that flops. And there's a lot of those. But I don't know. I'm rooting for Alex. I think that she will be a billionaire. And I think that building in public, like we saw this with Meadow Lane, is so powerful. And so even like I saw a TikTok of her earlier about how like the pump for the moisturizer doesn't work that well. And so they're working on it. But she did like a TikTok that was funny about it. And I just think like that transparency lets people give her grace as she figures this out. Okay, now let's talk to another viral influencer, Olivia Attwood, for one of my favorite episodes of Financial Tea yet. Okay, this is a huge moment for me. Olivia Attwood, my absolute favorite Instagram follow. I've never even watched Love Island. I just know you from social. And I'm like, there's my diva. There's my queen. Like the most hardworking girl in showbiz, the most beautiful girl in showbiz. You are here at Financial Tea. I could pinch myself. And I'm just so excited to talk to you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me and your kind intro. We've been Instagram friends for a minute.
We really have. I'm like ready to come to London to like have a crazy night out with you. I want to forget like everything that's happened in my life.
Oh, you'll forget everything you come out of me.
Yes, that's what I want. I'm really looking forward to blacking out together soon in the UK. We can definitely clip that.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to ground everyone. So you broke out on Love Island, which is a show basically about romance around 9-10 years ago, and have since turned it into a full-on business. Like you're here to promote your River Island collab. I was telling you I couldn't even get the pieces that I wanted because they're already sold out. So
next time you gotta tell me and I'll hook you up.
Okay, don't have to tell me twice. But was this always the goal? Like at which point did you realize you weren't just a reality show, but that you were actually like building a company and an empire around your name? Because that takes a lot of strategy.
God, I think the first year out of Love Island didn't really have a clue what I was doing. That was the year of just kind of finding my feet. Series 3, for people who aren't familiar, of the Love Island UK series was like a breakout series. It kind of changed the culture of the show. It blew up in a way in the UK, and then it also made its way over here that we hadn't seen in series 1 or 2. So our expectation as cast going on was very humble. Like I didn't have big expectations. I was like, I would like some more Instagram followers. I'd like some free clothes, some free tables and nightclubs with my friends.
Yes.
That was about the extent of it. And at that time in my life, I was kind of, I'd say I was feeling a little bit lost, a little bit stuck. I was kind of floating. There wasn't much direction. And they'd reached out to me to go on series 2. I turned it down for a boyfriend. Never turned down opportunities for boyfriends. We can get into that more later. That blew up in my face. And then so when series 3 came around, I was like, okay, let's do this. Like, what have I got to lose? That was very much how I looked at it. And then I'd say it took me a year post-show navigating kind of overnight fame, loads of Instagram followers, just kind of finding my feet with that, where I realized I wanted to be in television and I wanted to, have a credible reputation in that industry and kind of make my mark. And then everything I've done since then has been very intentional. But I would say the last 3 years, I've like really kicked it up a notch. You're in your lock-in season. I mean, you really are the busiest woman that I follow online. Like sometimes I get worried for you. Like I'm like, how's her health? Like, are we getting an IV? Like, has she slept? Yeah.
But I love it because I know that you are securing the damn bag and that you're buying damn bags, which is also chic. So can you break down all your income streams for us?
Okay, income streams. So the obviously first one would be television. This is not in order of what brings in the most, by the way, but television, my podcast.
You're like television, not at the top.
It's not. Unfortunately, the climate is a little bit different now.
Yes.
My podcast, commercial deals, so Instagram, working with brands, my radio show. Then I'm going to partner in some businesses this year. But that's kind of especially how many hours are in a day, but that this year I want to get some roots and just kind of start like sweeping up some equity in some companies, just because I've now monitored and tracked my own selling ability. And I know I take healthy deals with brands that I work with and sell their products, but I'm kind of now thinking, okay, shall I? And I've narrowed it down to like bigger long-term relationships with brands that I really, really like that align with me. But now I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's time to sort of sell some stuff myself.
I love that. We're in our Kardashian era.
And very much in the sense of, because I know that there's no point me turning around going, I'm going to start a fashion brand tomorrow, because one, that market's terrifying, but 2, it's like, you need that to be your whole purpose. I'm trying to show up in like lots of different areas. I haven't got time to run the day to day. So I almost would like to, you almost have your fingers in lots of pies.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to have one whole pie, my outlook business-wise this year is like lots of different fingers in pies.
Do you want to share the companies that you want to take equity
I'm
in?
looking at like drinks, I think would be good for me.
I love that. Like an energy drink or a cocktail?
I think a cocktail is more aligned.
Okay, addicted. I'll obviously drink it. And what makes you the most money and how much is it? Can we name some numbers? I mean, it's a financial tea.
My God, my father would disown me if I dropped numbers.
People love the numbers, unfortunately. But you could give us a ballpark.
I would say,
I feel like there's so much curiosity about like influencers, like how much they make. And it really is like you are your own marketing funnel to Garnier, to all these huge brands.
In standalone projects, I guess commercial collaborations bring in the most for, I guess, the less output. Less output in the sense of making a documentary. Sometimes we can film like 10, 11 hours and we might get 3 minutes of footage. So sometimes even if it's a healthy fee, when you break down the output for like, the bang for your buck, you have to love it. And I don't know what it's like in the States. I think that, television probably pays more because you have this bigger audience and you guys put so many commercials. Oh my God, there's so many commercials.
So crazy.
You forget. So I think that in the UK, you having to outlay quite a lot more on the back end.
We don't want to say numbers of like how much we get paid for brand deals or things like that.
Do you know what's really bad? And don't be like shocked by me. And I am across my situation, but I would be so scared that I would just say it wrong. Like, because I obviously have management and like I have, yeah. And I always am on the sign off things, but I wouldn't want to specifically, I don't know if I'm NDA by most of these brands, probably on fees.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally get it. Well, the other thing that I love about you is like you work hard, but you play hard and you spend hard. So obviously you have amazing style. Like we all want access to your closet. You love to shop for designer things. And I'm always so jealous of your unboxings. And your Hermès travel bag is so big and cool. I'm addicted. So, but when you go shopping, like how do you know how much you can afford to spend that day? Like who helps you sort of manage your personal finances? Are you managing them? Like what's the cap?
So I have a bank manager, like with my private bank, and then I have an accountant. So there's different people overseeing my financial, like my outlay, like what I owe in tax, what I owe in VAT and all that stuff. So I always know I'm never spending money I don't have. I've never bought a handbag on a credit card. Even before I had, money, I was very much brought up to like things like that they are privileges that you get to enjoy on the back end of doing the work. It's not the other way around. So even though I think that I started kind of intentionally in interviews, like make sure that I'm explaining the way my relationship with money to my audience, because what I don't want to do is negatively influence especially my young female audience that buying things like Chanel handbags, Gucci, like is
it's
a priority. It's not a priority.
Yes.
Like you need to get your ducks in a row. You need savings, you need a house, you need all those things. Then they should not, the bags are the
icing.
Later.
Yes.
And I think you kindly pulled up an interview I did once and put it on your story where I talked about it. And I was like, I think sometimes that content does really well. People love living vicariously through people watching unboxings and stuff. But yeah, I never spend money I don't have. And I always see, you talked about this really recently on your page, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of mythery around like bags and investments and all that. Like it's a very fine line. And I don't purchase anything with the thought of I'm going to get back from this.
Yeah, it's just fun, fashion.
Yeah, and it's like some of those bags will maybe gain value, and if I want to sell them, I could. But I buy things like that within my mind. It's like I'm going to hand them to my daughters or my son's girlfriends or my sons, and they're going to stay in the family. Yeah, that's be the best case scenario for me, a gay son. Yes. They're going to stay in the family. Like that's how I see them, as like they're kind of things that are going to, I'm going to keep for a long time.
You talk about their Hermès game. You definitely have the hookup now. Like at this point, can you just get whichever bags you want because you're such a good customer? Like how many Hermès bags do you have? Like
this, and to be honest, when this goes out, it might have changed again. It changes so much, and I get so confused. But in every country, different. In the UK, I think you are allowed 2 Quota bags a year, which is basically like Birkin or Kelly. And like anyone who's shopped at Hermès knows that they often offer you a bag. So you can basically special wish. So it's like the color, the style, whatever.
Yes.
And then when you go in store, or they might complete your wish and email you and go, we have this exact bag. And then you have 48 hours to like come and purchase the bag. Or if you go in and you'll do your essay and you have a good relationship with them, they might come and offer you a bag that they think you might like. But it might be something completely that's not your taste.
Like Quota.
And it's like, you can decline the bag.
Yes.
Like you don't just buy something just because, you know, someone's offering it to you. So yeah, so I'm the same as everyone else, potluck. I have been really lucky. I have had wishes completed. I have shopped the brand in an intentional way though. Once I knew that I wanted, like for example, my black Birkin, gifts and things that I was buying for weddings, big birthdays, but I started buying them from Hermès because I was like, I'm going to build that like client portfolio. Like I was buying stuff from The Question for my sister. Like I was like stuff that I might go and buy from Harrods, you know, I don't know, a candle, I'm going to buy it from Hermès.
Yeah.
Because that I was trying to obviously be offered the bag that I wanted, and I was.
So what would you say is the smartest financial decision that you've ever made?
Probably some of the financial decisions I've made in the last like 3 or 4 years. And that's basically something that's really hard for an utter control freak. And that's delegating.
Love that.
Like
so hard, by the way, for me as well.
People, you know, to help with my agents, my PR, my housekeeper, things that basically stop trying to do everything myself and delegating out a little bit more. Like I always think that if you're in a financial position to do that, it will pay you back tenfold. Yes. And like even things like in my industry, specific to my industry, good glam, right? Like the right clothing, like, you know, that stuff stings a little bit on when you're seeing it leaving the account. But I have literally tracked the ROI. I've tracked it, and I'm now seeing the rewards of that. I bought my first property pretty young, and that served me quite well. But that's not something I'd recommend to everyone. But at that time, it made sense.
Yeah, and probably also you were like just coming into money, and you wanted that security of a house.
Yeah.
Like I was watching your show, Filthy Rich, and the one with the OnlyFans girl who bought a house all in cash. And I was like, you know what? I honestly get it. Like, like you don't know how long this career is going to last. Like you want to just like have that home locked down.
And, you know, not leaving money sat in savings accounts.
Oh, thank you, girl.
So, and I don't invest my own money. Like I have an investment team that do it. You know, like there's not enough hours in the day and I'm not educated enough to do it. But I think, don't fall into the trap of letting money sit, especially with, you know, the way the
market, inflation, everything. Wow, you're low-key financial queen. Love this. Like nailing it. What would you say is the dumbest financial decision you've ever made? I think chasing trends at a time, like, you know, like rushing and like thinking, like not using my own brain. Like I know this is such a girl thing, but it's like not girl thing, actually men fall for it too. They do it with watches and golf clubs, but it's like sports betting.
Thinking, do I even like this? Or am I just like being told this is the bag? Like, you know,
that happened to me the first
just
time.
Like so many things that I've looked at my wardrobe, like, why the fuck did I buy that? Yep. And then luxury cars.
Wow.
I've never seen a penny, like I've only ever, it's a pure indulgence. It's just, and it's a money pit. Yeah. So like with the G-Wagon was my dream car. It was like a goal I set for myself. It cost me like a fortune because we don't have the tax write-off for the G-Wagon in the UK.
I was going to say, with
get
heavy
penalized.
vehicles, in the US, you get a tax write-off.
Can't put it through the company, can't claim anything back. Obviously, petrol prices in the UK are super, super high.
Going up.
The only thing that car bought me was just a really superficial joy.
And probably
financially,
cool
it was a fucking pain in my ass. And cool pictures on Instagram. There's an argument to say that, you know, like, having that car was a talking point and I created content with it. And there's always an argument. It's an extension of people associated that car a lot with me. But yeah, all the cars I've bought have always been a financial liability. Luxury cars are. The minute you drive them off the forecourt, they lose their value. So
100%. I personally, I'm about to turn 35 in July, and literally all of my friends have babies, are having babies, like, or are trying to have babies. And I feel like the only registry that I really could make is like that I have my book coming out, Future Rich Person. Like, let's celebrate that. And I feel like
it's gorgeous. I'm obsessed with the blue and the yellow. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's really cool. It's going to jump off the shelves.
Thank you. You know, that's just what we need. But like, I feel like you're in a similar phase where like your gas is on the pedal with your career, but it's sort of, from what I follow on social media, a lot of your close friends are settling down, they're starting families, and you're building something so much bigger. So how do you handle that pressure, like when the traditional timeline and like your personal ambitions don't line up? Like, do you ever feel as a woman like you're quietly judged if your life doesn't follow the classic order of like marriage, then baby, then probably not career. You know what I mean?
I just think guilt is a default female setting. Like, I think that we are, guilted by society. We're sometimes guilted by family and friends. As you know, I've recently separated with my husband, and it's, when you know that the person in your relationship is maybe they're wanting kids like yesterday, and you're not quite there, that you watching your parents get older and you're thinking,
that's the worst part for me.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want you to miss, if I do have children in the future, I don't want to, but these are not the right reasons to have a child. Like, they're not. And do you know what's really interesting is that, yes, a lot of my friends, like most of them have babies now in the last 5 years. But what you do get when you have real girlfriends is that, some will say to you, don't let anyone tell you that you can do what you're doing right now and be a mother, because people love to go, oh, you could do it. You could get a nanny. And I'm like, but I don't actually want to have my kid and then be out 6 days a week filming and literally come home at 10 p.m. at night and not and miss those formative months, first months. I don't want that. So I think that what you do get when your friends start having kids, they all tell you, this is fucking hard.
Yeah.
This fucking sucks sometimes. Yes, I love this baby. Yes, I'm in love with my child, but you do get a bit of a reality check as well. And so I think that also when you didn't have kids young in your 20s, so now I'm in my 30s and now I'm making real money and
you're in your peak earning
I
years.
have all this freedom. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I think some people they have kids younger and then they almost never experience the true, that gap between being in your parents' house and being under there and then you trying to jump into your next sort of. Yeah. Now I feel like I'm in this genuinely free era.
I feel the same way.
I'm enjoying it so much. I'm very protective of it. And I think that having children is trivialized so much. I think that it shouldn't just be a box to tick. You need to want to be a parent. And that's not something that I'm yearning for right now.
Yeah. We're the first generation of women to really have that freedom.
Yeah.
For it to be glamorized. It's not spinster vibes. It's no powerful hotties who are just getting rich and waiting for someone to meet them at that level.
And people love to harp on about, we're in a throwaway era of relationships. It's it's not. We're just the first generation of women that can actually leave.
Yeah, and can choose.
They can leave.
Yeah.
And that's just, and I know that's that's the sad reality. It's that so many of our grandparents, grandparents, it's not maybe they wanted to stay with our great grandfather. They didn't have a choice.
Well, they couldn't even get credit cards in their own names. They
what
literally your way of having any sort of independence from your nuclear family was to get married. There was no other path legally.
No.
So fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Do you find that men are intimidated by financially solvent women?
Some. And it was never an issue with my ex-partner. And, a lot of men that I know, it's not an issue, but some. I think for some men it's a point of insecurity, but then I think that then that probably is an insecure male across the board.
Oof.
Yeah. I often think it's isolated to finances. And I think it would be how much space you take up in a room, how you dress, how much attention you gain from, not just men, but people in general, how you command a space. And I think that, some men, and not all men, but some men were not raised to handle women taking up so much space. So I feel it's, there are men out there that are really comfortable and really supportive of us going and, making something of ourselves and taking up the space that we deserve. But there's some that are uncomfortable with it, and that's a them issue. I'm not going to coach them through it.
100%.
I haven't got fucking time.
No. I once told my ex that I wanted to have a big life, and I think that his penis literally went back inside his body. He was so scared. Have you ever had to shrink yourself in a little to keep a relationship comfortable?
I've felt the resentment of past partners. I think I as a young woman, I chose a real couple of shitbags in a row who would constantly tell me after I'd been out, "You're so annoying," or "You talk too much," or "You're so loud," or it's and that kind of little that commentary does start to sort of set into your subconscious a little bit. Yeah. And so I I was made to feel by a lot of ex-partners like I was difficult to love or difficult to like, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, I can always credit to Bradley, like, you know, my ex, that he definitely like healed that wound in me, because he never made me feel that way, ever.
So nice.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, what's so interesting is that there's all these stats with Gen Z that they're like swinging the pendulum back. Like they want really traditional ideas of partnership and gender roles. And there's like a lot of openness and I feel like trendiness online about being taken care of financially, like the trad wife narrative, all of this. So I'm curious like what it means for you in a relationship to be financially independent. Like I always say that I'm a gold digger who has her own gold.
Obsessed with that.
Like we don't want to be a nurse or a purse.
So I think that the worrying sort of glamorization of traditional home lives online, I think things, like you said, it swings like a pendulum, doesn't it? And I think things then happen politically, then it kind of have a knock-on effect. And I think that you can kind of see it bleed through. But the thing is, what I would say to these girls, a lot of the trad wives that you follow online are making a fortune.
I know.
Off selling a lifestyle that they're not actually probably really living. So just kind of take it with a pinch of salt. But I think you know my opinion on this, all human beings should be financially free, because I don't see how you can be in a truly equal partnership with someone if you don't have the tools to leave. Like going through what I've gone through the last few weeks and months, it's like I've just thought this is so hard, and it's such an experience that, you know, you just heartbreak, relationship breakdowns, they suck so much, and it's like I just
one of the
thought,
worst things. Like physically.
Imagine doing this and I didn't have anywhere to go. Like I was able to go like rent my own apartment that week, like get my own car. Like, you know, I was like really sitting back and thinking, I'm so glad that I never rested on him. I never rested on my like laurels, like, because now I don't have to do any negotiating. I can make the decision that I want to be and end up in somewhere I'm happy. And that's what I'd want for all women.
Yeah.
I interacted with girls at football clubs when their partners are players who were experiencing like infidelity, and they would talk to me and I'd then kind of confide in me and I'd be like, you have to go. And they would literally say to me, go where? Like, it's not my car. I don't that the cards are in his name. Where, like, you know, where am I going? Like, so then the alternative is like stay in their lovely big house, which is not even actually theirs, or go back to their parents. Like, then a lot of people are staying in relationships for the wrong reasons.
100%.
And it used to break my heart a little bit, because I just think these are smart girls that like went to uni, like had jobs, and they kind of put everything on the back burner to support this guy's career. And now he's treating you poorly, but you feel trapped. That's horrible. I wouldn't want any of my friends or my family to be in that situation.
Have a fuck you fund.
Just have
Yes. You
like,
always have to be able to leave.
Yeah.
Like you need to always have like your plan B. I know that like prenups used to feel super taboo, but now it feels like they're sort of like becoming more normal. Like, do you think that successful women should always protect themselves financially in relationships? Do you think it's awkward to have that conversation? Like in your experience, like how do you manage protecting your finances if you are like
I'm not opposed to them. I think it's a smart thing to do. I know in different countries they have, and it depends how, you know, you need to have your own lawyer look over and everything. They have different degrees of like how much they stand up and when things, you know, come to an end. But I think it's a good thing to have. If I'm honest, this is controversial. I feel like Bethany Frankel said this recently, and I listened to her and I was like, shit, I really fucking agree with that. I don't know if I'm actually that excited by the idea of legal marriage at all. Like, I'm trying to see.
By the way, I hear that on this show all the time. I just
kind of wonder, like, I'd rather in the future, I don't know, I never say never, but it's like, would I rather just have like a big party and like a bit of a like a celebration and a commitment ceremony rather than, I don't know, do we need to get the legal part of it involved? I
think that when you have a lot of financial independence like you, it's not as necessary. But like I know women who don't have that and then have like a baby with a kid and
then
you're not,
and
that you're not legally married. And then it's like you're not on their insurance and you're like there's just like all these like little, or you can't file taxes jointly. Like, but I agree for someone.
I'm looking at it, from my side.
I completely agree.
You know, And, and also they're so unsexy, but it's like you're going to marry someone and you are going to legally like bind yourself to them. It's like you need to understand their financial hygiene.
Oh, million
which is
percent.
so awkward. And it's something that, I'm a little bit late out of the gate with all this, but understanding your partner's relationship with money, what they think is what they want to spend money on. Like some people are like, they want to live in a big house, big car, do less holidays.
Yeah.
Some people, they want to live in a small house, they want to go on loads of holidays. Some people, they gamble. Some people, you need to you need to have a real financial understanding of each other, which I think when you're young and in love,
it's awkward.
It's awkward, and it's like just the last thing you fucking think. You think, we'll work it out later.
Yeah,
but
and we have love, so everything else, like we watch the Disney movies, so like that'll get us through.
And later, cat comes around the corner really fucking quick.
Oh, that cat is gonna come, girl.
And the wedding. I mean, no wonder it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry, because as well, you're starting married life by basically just seeing off a whole load of cash. You probably should use something else.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
There's such a liability, and if you
invested the $50K that you put into a wedding in 30 years, it would be like, and you got like an 8 or 10% return, it would be around $850,000.
That's actually sickening.
We have a trope on the show, which is like how chic it is to be like rich older woman with boyfriend who like visits her at night.
Obsessed.
Yeah. That's the goal. Like, yes, you're gonna have a partner, but it's like maybe you have separate bathrooms and like even separate bathrooms. Yeah, like we have like a little bit of independence, but like we're still getting laid and like having like someone fun to hang out with, but like, rich older woman with boyfriend. Like
because
not older even. Just rich woman with boyfriend.
Yes. Because it's like
boyfriend is sort of sexy. Like Goldie Hawn had it right.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed with Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
It's like I think sometimes when I talk, it's like I never want to get misunderstood for being someone that doesn't like men. I love men. My God. It's like that's been, since I'm 15 years old, that's been my undoing. And I always want to have a man in my life. The difference is I know that I don't need one.
I love that.
But I want one. They're so fun.
Yeah, that is fun. Nothing better than a wet phone. Yeah. We love it. Okay, so I want to talk to you about The Price of Perfection. I binged like all of your... Unfortunately, because I'm in America, I had to email your team to get like special VPN access.
Oh my God, they need to come on. We need that stuff on Hulu.
We really do, because I'm like dying to tell my friends about it, but they have no access. But special privileges. I got to watch Filthy Rich and The Price of Perfection. So, and you're obviously a beauty queen. Like it is insane to sit next to you, like stunning. Have to wear sunglasses. It's just blinding my eyes. Can you talk to us about your history with like aesthetics and surgery and like how the show has changed your perspective on it at all?
We know there is a social currency the way we look. And like I'm not going to pull stats because I'll get them wrong, but there is a literal correlation between women, in the workplace and how they
30% more.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there is a payback, and my job is slightly different because obviously the way I look is like heavily part of my my USP and what I'm delivering. So it's like and also not just how I look, how I feel, so I can be confident and, deliver and do my job. But I think that you was about the pink tax, like we are that machine, that aesthetics machine is, and all the things they tell us we need and all the things they tell us is wrong with us is this terrifyingly effective way of just bleeding us dry. So I feel like women need to go in with their eyes open. Everything in the aesthetic industry has been designed to make money and basically like prey on our insecurities.
And they're all subscription services too.
You need 10 of these.
Yeah.
You need 5 of these. Of course you fucking do.
Yes.
Yeah. If I designed a machine, you'd need 20. Like, of course. So you need to, one, be really savvy, shop around. Like you would for anything else. Don't go to the first Medi Spa and then sign up. Shop around.
Well, this happened to me so first of all, I am in a terrible position where Botox stopped working on me.
What?
Yes. So like
I've heard this myth.
It's not a myth. I've spent like thousands of dollars making sure it's not a myth because I've like gone, I'm getting this one, I'm getting that filler, like it's, or not
Can
filler.
Can you do the Dysport?
No, that's what everyone always says. I've gotten them all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work anymore. And now I have to switch to strain A, but it's more expensive, but it only lasts for a fortnight. And it's like, I need to go to Korea, girl.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
gonna
going
fix
next
me.
month.
Oh my God. I need to get a forehead lift in Korea. That's what's happening over the summer. Like we're going to do something. But like I found I wasted so much money on that journey and so I'm wondering, like, what treatments do you think are really worth the money? Because I think that we get, first of all, every girl in my audience just thinks that, okay, if I'm doing anything aesthetic, I should do a laser first. I did a laser first. Guess what happened to me? I got melasma. So it's like, because we see
Bitch,
this
you've
stuff.
been unlucky because they're the two most rarest side effects. Like one, you're one of these rare people that Botox starts working, and melasma as a side effect from laser. Again, it's like 1 in 1,000.
I know, literally. Like, and now I'm like, what do I do? Like, I'm getting microneedling, I'm getting chemical peels. Like, I'm trying to. It's shitty, but like, I want you to tell us like what's worth it and what's not worth it.
It's so personal, right? And if you're going to spend money, the way I'd see it is like, is there something that bothers you? So if it's your skin or it's your nose, or is it something that you think holds you back when you walk into a room and that's what you're thinking about is your teeth, then that's what I prioritize. Don't let someone tell you, don't let society tell you, oh, you need to do CO2 laser because everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me, Fraxel.
Yeah. So it's like, I would feel like, think about, because it might be nothing. Don't get just like absorbed by the noise. If there are things that you would know, if I improved on that or I tweaked, like I would feel more confident. I'd feel like I'd be able to stand up in that meeting and assert myself more because I'm not, I know people that have been so self-conscious of their nose or they've got bad skin.
Yeah.
So that's where I would put your energy and your money. Then shop around because that industry is riddled with charlatans. Like they are everywhere. They are everywhere.
And you have like a med spa that you're very loyal to.
I do. I have a doctor. Her name's Dr. Selena. Shout out Dr. Sal. She's, went to medical school. She knows her stuff. She tells me straight the amount of times she's marched me out of her clinic, and I've asked for more lip filler. And she's like, no, you're good. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I want it. And she's like, so she will cut the shit with me. Like when I did my jaw tie, because I had this, it was a genetic double chin because like I was slim. There was it was not like I had fat around my face. Yeah. Every time I saw myself on telly, it used to just annoy me so much. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, you've got a little pocket of fat there that's like genetic. She's like, let's suck it out. Like, that she was honest with me that what I saw. But then I've talked about things that I've seen. I'm like, should I do a lip flit? And she's like, no. Yeah. Like, so I think you need someone that'll be honest with you. But I would, shop around and go, don't let someone tell you what you need. Think about if there might be nothing. And also to young girls and men watching this, just interfering with yourself, apart from good skincare, creates more problems down the line. So everything becomes a tax that you'll continue to pay. Veneers, I'm on my second set. They cost an absolute fortune. Yes. My last set cost me about £20,000. Boobs, I'm on my second set because the first set I had done when I was really young, and then one started to like move off to the side. Again, luckily I was earning good money from Love Island, so I could get a really good surgeon. When you start interfering with yourself, you are creating problems. And then you will have that for the rest of your life that you have to maintain. So don't put yourself, let's bring it back to finance, on the financial tea. Don't put yourself in a financial liability because your friend went and got, fake knockers. You don't, unless it's something that's literally consuming you. When you get longer you're on this earth, the less times you do something when it comes to cosmetics, the better. Scar tissue, complications, everything gets more risky the more times you do it.
Yeah, like I think Kris Jenner's on her last facelift. Like they're not going to put that girl under again to do, like that's a serious surgery.
But the sad thing is, and these are medical professionals, someone would.
I know.
Someone will always do it. So that's the other thing is like, don't think because someone's a medic that they always have the cleanest moral compass, because some people will just take your money. So that's why I always say, like, if you're going to go do surgery, I'd say 4 or 5 consultations minimum.
Okay, I was looking at some of your comments and just like as someone also in your audience, like I feel like you have the most supportive fans.
Oh my God.
And it's also crazy because yes, you post, sometimes when influencers post like the nice, you're not just an influencer though. You're influencer, you're TV like icon, you're like, there's so much more. I don't want to sell you short with that, but you have such supportive fans. Like, how do you curate that relationship? Because I also think it's interesting that when they see you win, they want to see you win versus like being jealous or like being like, why'd she buy that bag again? Like they love you and I'm in it. That's like, I love you. Like if I see a story, I see a post, double tap right away, girl. Like not even looking at the post yet. I'm just like, oh, Olivia's out here. Yes, please.
Gosh, like for me to answer it it's a little bit difficult But I think what it is that I tried to, like, people do ask me that question. I try to kind of examine it, and everything that I post online, I try to keep as authentic as you can with Instagram. I try and keep it quite real with my audience and cut through some of the bullshit. I also feel like I try and keep, and I have my friends and my family keep me very grounded. I think what happens with a lot of influencers and maybe people in like media, they become so detached from reality. So it's like, you know, when I'm about to jump on my stories and moan about something, it's like, just like temperature check how this is going to land. Because like we're in a cost of living crisis. Like people have real problems.
100%. Like whenever anyone says like, oh my God, my plane is delayed. I'm like,
shut the fuck up. Like
you're on a plane. Like congrats.
Yeah. So, and I, you know, so and if I do have a lot of advice, you know, I said I hated moving, but like I caveat with just being like, by the way, I know I'm lucky that I can move into a new place. So I think people appreciate you just kind of, you know, just checking yourself, like just have a reality.
Grounded.
Stay grounded. And also my audience is like, some things people who follow me, they won't be able to relate to things in my lifestyle, but there's always a relatability. There's always a through thing. So it's like, and I try and keep it kind of messy, kind of unfiltered, like, you know.
Well, the vulnerability is really amazing too. Like even with your breakup, like I feel like even before it was announced, hearing you say like, marriage is hard. Like, it's hard that I'm working a lot. Like, I'm
always going to say the thing that no one else wants to say.
Yeah. I'm like, was so compelled by that.
Thank you.
And I think it's so brave, but also probably nice to get the support of everyone.
They are. I'm very lucky. And also, I just call out shit as well. Like when I had people on my podcast, like the other day, someone from my team was like, Olivia, like I had this when I guessed my podcast and someone just wrote a really unkind comment. And I just literally wrote back, I went, we don't fucking need you. Don't watch another podcast and get off this page. And one of my producers was like, right, for the sponsor's sake, can we just like keep the F word to a minimum? I was like, no, I'm not having people being mean to my guests. So I do call out bullshit as well. So maybe it's a bit of a zero tolerance to bullshit.
I love that. Okay, last question. You're obviously so ambitious, so successful. I know you are manifesting your private plane. I do want to go on it.
Absolutely.
But what is like your ultimate goal? Like what does enough look like?
I feel satisfied with my achievements kind of inside work and outside work. A bit, like a little bit. I'm a big believer and again, this is very much a privileged thing and some people work to survive, but I don't think you can have something kind of extraordinary by having balance.
No,
what I want is not something, and I don't want balance right now, but at some point I'd like to be able to have more of a balanced life.
Yeah, but that's why we freeze our eggs. We can do it later in life.
Freeze our eggs and invest our money.
Freeze our eggs and invest our money.
Get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Like you can't get to where you want to go by having your foot just like by driving the speed limit.
You can't do like 9 till 4 and then want to break through kind of the norm. So but then some people, that's what they want and that's fine.
Yeah.
Also.
Okay, you are like I'm so excited that you're here. This was an amazing interview. Thank you so much, Olivia. I know that you have to run.
I love this interview. You're a great interviewer. And you asked, I love having a conversation that's slightly different to like all the other conversations I have. But because it's like, I think it's important. And I think you do great work. And I'm going to be buying the book.
Please buy the book, Future Rich Person. Also, we listen to all of your
interviews. The name's
interviews.
Just amazing.
Okay, good. But that's like what we're trying to be.
And you have to come to Olivia's house. So you have to make a trip to London.
I'll literally come to promote the book. Thank you so much for being here. And also, I would say we listened to all of your other interviews and it's like, that's what we were craving. We wanted to hear you talk about like your business and your empire and like how that functions with your personal life. And I just appreciate your honesty so much because I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.